Well, I'm very happy to be on the sofa with Nina Manning today. Friend of mine who has written a book, and I'm really, really impressed because she's not only written a book, but she's produced 3 children whilst writing a book. And as many of you guys will know, it's really, it's not easy juggling 3 kids alone. But doing anything at the same time as juggling 3 kids and popping them out is not easy. Talk to us and tell us how you've done it, and then we'll have a look at the book.
So, always loved writing since I was a little kid, but for one reason or another, I ended up working in different jobs. Catering was the sort of main one, chefing, and then the last couple of years I really sort of tried to start pushing this manuscript that I'd written, which had a different title at that point and was almost like a completely different story altogether. It was more like a family saga. And then amazingly, one agent had a look at it, and she said to me, would you consider changing it to a psychological thriller? I love the title, I love the concept, I love so much about it. But this whole psychological thriller genre was just taking off. This was about 5 years ago when Gone Girl was just coming out. And she said, have you read that? Yeah, and seen the film.
Yeah.
So she said, the whole unreliable narrator thing is really sort of hot at the moment. So maybe consider doing something like that using your degree, because I have a degree in psychology. I was like, okay.
As you do. Have you got anything else to tell us about? Chefing, a psychology degree, I'm an author.
A degree in there as well at some point.
3 kids and a husband.
So then I just rewrote the book as a psychological thriller, having had 0 experience in that genre, and then it took a few more years of polishing the manuscript and many more rejections and agents asking for the manuscript to be delivered to them in the full to read it and then rejecting me. So it's just an ongoing thing.
How did you cope with that rejection? Because I know, obviously, through modelling and acting, one of the toughest things, and one thing that I see damaging models and actresses, and I've seen the damage it does to girls right through my career. You turn up at a casting or an audition and you get the job on whether you're right for it or not. It's very, very hard to see that that's nothing to do with how you look or how you've just performed. It's to do with whether you fit the role or not. And I guess, hearing you saying that you had rejection after rejection after rejection, that's a tough thing, because our self-esteem as mums is so often like pummeled to bits anyway. You're not feeling great. Did you struggle with that?
There's times when I thought, this is just really tough, and also you get that initial sort of pound of hate for everything. But I just always believed in myself. I think just deep down I always knew that this is what I needed to be doing, and I knew it was going to be a tough journey, and I knew it was a tough industry that I was trying to crack. And the longer it sort of took, the more psychological thrillers that were coming out. And I sort of had a lot more competition in the market as well. But eventually I cracked it.
That's amazing that you had that self-confidence to keep going, and instead of just giving up, which so many of us would.
I think it's like anything. If you truly believe in something enough, it's going to happen in some aspect or another. I think you've always got to do something that you love, rather than try and do something for monetary gain. I think I would just always write anyway, even if I hadn't got a book published. I'd still be sort of writing stories or whatever.
That's really nice. And I guess what I do is something that I love. I love my job, all my different jobs that I do, and it does make a difference when you're happy doing your job. And that doesn't mean that it's easy. I'd imagine it's not easy for you trying to write a book with 3 kids wanting their dinner.
There's always somebody wanting something with 3 children. That's the thing, isn't
there? So let's talk about the book then. The book is called The Daughter-in-Law. I'm one, you're one. Well, I'm kind of not one. I don't know, when you get divorced, are you still a daughter-in-law? Or am I like an ex-daughter-in-law?
Ooh, that's the next one.
Hurts.
But that could be the follow-on.
Oh, there we go. I've just come up with the next book. But I love it. I read what's it called? The blurb at the back. And I'm hooked already. So I'm going to steal this copy for myself and read it this week. And I love it. It's about a single mother, so obviously that resonates with me. Raising a boy, that resonates with me, although I've got 3, and I think Annie in the book's only got 1. She's quite sensible. She stopped when she should have done. One kid's enough for anyone.
I think I think the theme, one of the main themes of the book, is the mother and the son relationship and how different that is to a mother and daughter relationship.
Yeah, and it is a beautiful thing. I love having boys. But yeah, so tell us, so it starts off this relationship between mum and son, and then what happens?
So there's just the mum and son to start with, and then Daisy comes into the picture, who is already the daughter-in-law, but Annie didn't realise that Ben had married behind her back, and so the book sort of begins with the meet.
God, it hurts already. It hurts already. My boys would never do that. Yeah.
And so he takes Daisy to meet his mum in this secluded beach house where she lives, and they spend some time there, but there's a few sort of tensions, and it's quite obvious that Annie doesn't quite like Daisy. And then it sort of transpires that there's a few things about Daisy that Annie's not quite sure of as well. So then this is where the unreliable narrator comes in. The book is narrated by both Daisy and Annie, one after the other. And then there's a third narrator as well, called Grace, but we don't know who she is and what her reasons are for being there.
I'm being sucked in already. I need to know what's going on. I've got tingly feelings about reading the book. So where can we get hold of the book? It's out on Amazon at the moment.
It's out now, so it's published on the 1st of August by Boldwood, and so you can pick this up from Amazon, and it's on ebook still for just £1, and
oh my gosh,
you can get it in paperback and audio as well.
So this is, to me, I think this is the perfect holiday read, just the sort of thing that I would get into on the aeroplane as soon as the kids have got their headphones on and their iPads plugged in. And yeah, brilliant holiday read. You're 1 click away from getting your hands on a copy for your holiday if you haven't already been on it. And if you had, then maybe if you're already on holiday and you didn't get to read a book because you took your kids with you on holiday, and we all know that it quite often isn't a holiday with kids, then maybe you could save it for a little treat when they go back to school or nursery in September. We all need treats. We all need treats. But it's also coming out into bookshops, isn't it? Waterstones.
Yeah, gradually making its way into Waterstones, so keep an eye out.
That's exciting. Waterstones is such a posh bookshop. Oh, how nice, you've got a book in Waterstones. Oh, yeah, so very exciting. And yeah, that's it really. When's number 2 coming out?
So I'm in the process of writing book number 2, which is also a psychological thriller. And
is it a follow-on to this, or
no?
Completely separate?
Completely separate, but same genre, but completely different scenario and different characters. There's quite a lot more characters in the second book, whereas this just focuses on the 2 unreliable narrators. Oh, couldn't say that then. The second book is a lot more characters going on. So
is that because Annie or Daisy is dead, so couldn't return? You're not going to tell us, are you? She's not going to spoil the story. Can't believe Annie doesn't return. I'm already feeling a connection with Annie, the single mother. Exciting times. Well done you.
Thank you.
Very proud of you, with 3 kids in tow, to be to have a book out, but also it's done really well, hasn't it, in the charts already?
Yeah, it's done really well very quickly, so I'm really pleased. The first week, it just shot up the charts, and it was in the top 100 on the Kindle charts. I think it made it to about 93, and now I'm sort of hovering around sort of 140, which is fine because I'm still in the top 200 overall Kindle chart, so
that is not bad for a first book, is it?
No, not bad at all.
Well done. So whoever told you to get a psychological thriller out and not a family saga. What did you call it? A family saga. That doesn't interest me already. I've got my own family saga going on right here. I wouldn't want to read about someone else's. So this book is right up my street. I'm sure it will be right up your street. So do Google that. Get yourself your own copy. The Daughter-in-Law by Nina Manning. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you for having me.